So how did Tensei Modz get started? If we go back to February 2022, I was working for this crypto company during the last crypto bull market. I took my last check because I knew it was about time for me to get axed. The crypto bull market was coming to an end. Companies just didn't have the money to pay people. And I was like, you take my last check, I'm going to buy this Steam Deck. Not this specific model because this is an OLED. At the time, it was just the LCD. But I started playing retro games, loading up ROMs, playing my Steam games, and it was just super nostalgic. But something about playing them ROMs just wasn't hitting the same as playing the real deal, because I used to collect back in 2014. I had a big collection. I was going crazy. Stuff wasn't nearly as expensive, and you could find crazy games like Persona 2 at a local game store for 50 bucks. But I went to Arcade Legacy. I bought this. Didn't even have a Game Boy Advance at the time, so I had to learn how to mod that. And as soon as I got done modding one of those and I seen like an OG Game Boy with a backlit screen, something kicked in hardcore. I started doing what everybody does, buying collections, nothing big because I definitely didn't have the funds, but I would buy like a $100, $200 collection and keep like 2 games and then sell the rest off, not on eBay or Mercari, just Facebook. And Facebook is like, we don't even sell on Facebook anymore, but outside of our business page, I'm talking like Facebook Market. It was cool. Over the course of 6 months, I built a really nice collection, just buying stuff that I thought was a good deal and then keeping a couple things I liked and just moving on from there. I had listed a couple games on Facebook Market and I just noticed they would not sell unless I was literally giving them away. So I was like, let me give this eBay thing a shot. Posted a couple games on eBay, and then I noticed within an hour, all of the games sold. And I was like, oh, something clicked. I'm like, we're gonna have to start using this for sure. So I did that for a year and was just grinding, still working, but not doing it full time. But it really kicked in my first Torg event. And I wasn't even a vendor. I was just going up there with a bunch of handhelds. A bunch sold before I even got in the door. And then my online presence at that point was very strong because I had the Tensei Modz business page and stuff was just flying. And I was like, dude, I made more money in a 2-day period than I would make working a whole month at my regular job. So I was like, it's time to go full time. And that's when I went full tilt. It was 2023, just stopped working and went all the way in on video games. And don't get me wrong, it's super nerve-wracking at first because you're thinking this type of business, you always need inventory. So you always need money. And you're on the fence about going full-time because you just don't know if you're going to ever be able to source enough. But I just stuck with it and grinded hardcore for a whole year. And it just snowball effect week after week. It was bigger collections, bigger. It just got bigger and bigger every week. And it got to the point where I was like, oh, we're not worried about going back to work at all. But burnout set in because I was working 24/7 nonstop. Got to a point where I was posting on Facebook and all my socials about just wanting to find help. But it's hard to trust people. And I didn't want to just bring any Joe Smo in. And most of my family already are established with what they had going on, so they weren't interested, and their passion is definitely not retro video games, so they didn't want any parts of it. But I met my boy Zach. I actually wouldn't say I met Zach. I sold Zach some stuff because he found me on Facebook Market. He bought a bunch. I let him in my house because he just seemed like a cool-ass guy eventually, and then we ended up being pretty cool. Then we talked a lot. Talked about collections, showed off both what we got going on, and just naturally happened. He came along and it worked out great. I've actually never met another person. Well, no, I'm not gonna lie. I know a couple people that are kind of like me. They got that ruthless grinding mentality where they are on full go all the time. Because this business is very competitive. It's not something where you can just come in and be like, oh, I'll just take a couple days off. No, it's every day. Every minute of the day. I could be watching Netflix at 11 o'clock at night and somebody hits me up in Kentucky, and next thing you know, I'm driving to Kentucky to pick up a massive collection. And if you don't pick it up, the next guy is going to get it. So Zach he's the exact same as me, relentless with his devotion towards retro video games and getting what we need. So the perfect mixture. The goal going forward is just social media. social media plays such a big role in being successful for this business, for me at least. I know guys that do really good and they don't use social media outside of sourcing like Facebook Market and people hitting them up, but we're very active on all fronts, every single platform. It's helped us grow so much. I can't tell you how many collections I've got from people just knowing about us and word of mouth and Facebook. It's honestly, Facebook is probably the most valuable tool by far for us. I think a lot of people think Instagram and Twitter and all that. I'm like, dude, Facebook is invaluable to me. If I lost Facebook, probably wouldn't have a business anymore. But that's the really short, condensed version of how we started. There's a lot more to it. It was a super grind. I'm not going to sit here and act like it was easy peasy. It was a grind. It took a year of uncertainty to get to a point where it's like now we're solidified and we're in there. And then Zach coming along just really made it. We're really good now. And I want to expand, but that's for a different time. I don't know. We're not at that point yet. For 2025, I would really like to hire a video editor, maybe even just a bi-weekly basis or anything to help us shoot videos and edit videos faster, because I'm not the greatest at it. I'm good at selling video games. I'm good at cleaning consoles, modding consoles, fixing consoles. But video editing, probably not my strongest suit.